We are delighted and honored to introduce our first guest because Noel White, CEO of Tyson Foods, this is your first live interview.
Yes, that's right.
We're going to be kind. You're looking good, looking sharp.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks for being with us. You had a very busy morning. You were part of the President Trump breakfast, I understand, along with a lot of other CEOs.
I was.
Would like your take on the Phase 1 trade deal with China, because this affects your company as one of the largest meat companies, poultry and protein companies in the country. This affects you deeply. Talk to us about that trade deal and what it means for your company.
We were very pleased that we came to an agreement with China, that our government followed through and enacted, as well as the agreement with USMCA. And then that follows some agreements we've had with Japan and Korea as well. So we've had, a series of successes our administration's done a great job with. So we're very pleased.
Let me, sorry to interrupt, Noel, let me ask you about Tyson stock, which was up a ton last year, I think 70%. Right. Was a lot of that because of the resolution of the trade deal, and/or were your results just clicking, or what was going on there?
I think there's a series of things that contribute to that. Our performance has been strong. The global demand for protein continues to increase year over year. So it's not only the export opportunities, it's the execution. And over the long term, demand for protein continues to increase, and we're well positioned to be able to satisfy that demand. We have a solid domestic base. We've expanded internationally the past year and a half. We've acquired some assets in Asia that are performing well for us. So I don't think there was one specific thing. It's a series of things that's led to a very optimistic future.
You also entered the very hot right now plant-based protein industry. Tell us about the offerings there and how you hope to expand in that industry.
Yes, we rolled out our offering this summer, and it's gone very well. We are now in over 7,000 retail stores in the United States, and there's a series of products that we'll be rolling out over the course of the next 12 to 18 months in all different varieties, in all different forms, both branded, including some of our legacy brands that we have in the marketplace today, that will be both meat-based protein as well as alternative proteins. And then we'll be entering the food service arena as well.
Was Tyson an early investor in Beyond Meat, and you are no longer?
Correct.
And why did you pull out of that investment?
We recognize that it's a space that we intend to fully compete in, that we have all the resources available to us from a culinary standpoint, R&D standpoint, manufacturing, distribution. We have solid customer contacts. So it's a space that we want to fully compete in, use all the resources that are available to us, and be a strong competitor in the marketplace. Why
not just buy a Beyond Meat or an Impossible Foods and sort of take all their infrastructure in-house and do that?
We already had the infrastructure in place, so it's a fairly minimal investment on our behalf to be able to scale very quickly. And as I mentioned, we have all the resources already in place. So based on what the purchase price likely would have been, it was much more feasible for us to just develop all the further capabilities ourselves.
Noel, you talked a little bit about what happened last year vis-a-vis the stock. And so I want to ask you to state the case for buying Tyson stock going forward in 2020. What would be what you would tell the Wall Street analysts to look for?
Yeah, I think it's not just a story about 2020, but it's 2020 and beyond. And we take a longer-term perspective on where demand is, not only in the United States, but on a global basis. And as I mentioned, we expanded internationally this past year. We have a solid base now in Asia, which is where the most rapid growth is taking place. We're looking to expand our prepared foods business over the course of time. Our organic growth has been strong, very strong, over the course of the last 18 to 24 months. So it's more a story not only where we're at today and where we'll be this year, but out into 21, 22, 23, because on a longer-term basis, protein demand continues to increase on a global basis about 2% per year, with most of the growth taking place in Asia. It's outside the United States. So we are well positioned to take advantage of that growth over the course of time.
Noel, before we let you go, the theme here this year is sustainability and how we can tackle climate change. We know that the meat industry there are lots of greenhouse gas emissions that are produced because of this. How are you tackling that?
Right. Yesterday, we announced the formation of a coalition that we're going to pull together industry participants, not only in the United States, but on a global basis. And we want to fully attack all of the issues and make meaningful change over the course of time. It's an initiative that we can't do on our own as an individual company. We're going to need others within the industry to participate with us, and that's what the meeting about is actually tomorrow to help coordinate that.
All right, Noel White, Tyson Foods CEO, first interview,
Yes.
and you've done great. So
Thanks.
thank you very much for coming on. We
Great.
appreciate
Appreciate it.
that.
Thank you so much.